confirmation of 3 legendary lords as well as a legendary hero, a release date that's under a month away, and tons more information about the faction's mechanics, all coming in today's second episode of the Warhammer 3 News. We're back with our second video on the Chaos Dwarves. If you're wondering why 2 videos instead of just 1, there's 2 reasons. First of all, ad revenue, and second and most importantly, I already made the video on the trailer before noticing that we also are getting a blog today. Whoops. Anyway, there's a ton more new information to go through, so let's waste no more time and get started. First things first, the release date of the Forge of the Chaos Dwarves DLC is the 13th of April, so just over 4 weeks away, and I'm going on holiday on the 1st. Awesome. In this DLC, we're going to be getting 3 legendary lords, Astragoth Ironhand, Drazhoath the Ashen, and Zatan the Black, as well as the legendary hobgoblin hero Gordo's Backstabber, who from the wording seems like will be available to all 3 factions depending on who you pick. Today we've got some information about Astragoth Ironhand and Gordo's. Astragoth is of course the oldest living sorcerer prophet and high priest of Hashut, who's of course the lowercase g god of chaos that the dwarves are so fond of. He's moved around by his mechanical exosuit as shown in the trailer simply because he is so old that his body is already starting to petrify. In battle, he's an armoured caster with access to a mix of the lore of fire and the brand new lore of Hashut, which I'm very excited to learn more about, with high speed and decent melee prowess. On the campaign side, he generates more conclave influence than any other Chaos Dwarf faction. You might be wondering what that is. Not mentioned in the rest of the blog post is what that is. Gordo's is an assassin and fighting hero with great cunning and high speed on foot or a giant wolf mount. He's said to bring some extra power to hobgoblin armies, so we'll likely have some buffs for units to make them just as viable as the more powerful Chaos Dwarfs, war machines and monsters. Alongside these 2, we've also got some intel on the faction's economy and labour mechanics. The Chaos Dwarf campaign runs on the backs of slaves, labourers. Almost got the support of the UK government there for a second. These labourers are acquired post-battle similar to the Dark Elves slave mechanic. They can also be generated using a convoy mechanic, which we'll learn more about in later blog posts. These labourers are then sent to work in mining outposts to harvest raw materials. These are needed to build more advanced buildings and structures. As well as this, they can be converted into armaments that, quote, unlock the full strength of the military. This sounds like they'll be needed to recruit some units, or at the very least upgrade them to full power. These armaments can also be sold through this convoys mechanic as another way to support the apparently excellent economy of the Chaos Dwarves. Moving on now to the Tower of Zar, which is housed in the Chaos Dwarf capital of Zar-Nagrund, and is where all the political debate in the faction takes place. This will come with its own mechanic, such as acquiring seats of power for a range of bonuses and rewards, as well as districts. These districts seem like they'll divide up the Chaos Dwarf lands and encourage all factions in the area to work together towards whatever the common goal may be. Apparently this is one of the deepest mechanics in Warhammer 3 to date, so I'll be curious to get my hands on it and see exactly how it works. Also, if I had to guess, I'd say this is where that influence that was mentioned earlier is used, since it just kind of makes sense. And to close out, we have a little bit more intel on the roster of the faction, including the Bull Centaurs and Lamassu that we spotted in the trailer video, but also the Bale Taurus, which is a gigantic flying beast that can be used as a solo unit or mount for lords and heroes, and brings fierce fire damage wherever it goes. I think we actually got a glimpse of this in the trailer, which I missed the first time, but if you look carefully, I think that this is it. And that is just about everything we have in this apparently first of 3 blogs on the Chaos Dwarves. I'm going to hold you to that, CA, but with a month until launch, more news is hopefully sure to come, thick and fast. So subscribe to stay up to date right here in the Warhammer 3 newsroom. If you want more info on the Chaos Dwarves, then be sure to check out this video here going over the trailer that also dropped today.